The scales of truth and understanding. The courtroom was quiet, filled only with the soft hum of the air conditioner and the expectant breaths of those waiting for justice. Behind the elevated mahogany bench sat a woman who carried herself with an unmistakable blend of Southern warmth and metropolitan sharpness. Her name, etched clearly on the nameplate for all to see, was Judge Ebony K. Williams. To her, that nameplate was more than just a title. It was a promise that in this particular room, the only thing that mattered was how she saw the truth. She often told people that she was from North Carolina by way of Louisiana, carrying with her a bit of West Coast cool and a distinct New York edge. Judge Williams looked at the woman standing before her and asked if there was a problem. The woman shook her head, stating that she had no problem at all. For the judge, equal justice was the heartbeat of the country, a pursuit of freedom and integrity that she strove for every single day. She had chosen to become an attorney and pursue the law because she wanted to be a voice for those who could not speak for themselves. In her courtroom, people from all walks of life, regardless of their background or identity, were treated with the same fundamental respect. The first case of the day involved two women, Steph Foley and Vanessa Tyson. Steph, the plaintiff, was seeking $1,209.99. When Judge Williams asked what brought them there, Steph explained a very unfortunate series of events. She had attended a party thrown by Vanessa, where she accidentally ate a brownie that was full of cannabis. Steph claimed she had no idea the dessert contained drugs, and upon leaving the party, she was stopped by the police and received a citation for driving under the influence. Steph recounted that she was not actually friends with Vanessa. They had a mutual friend named Rachel who had invited her along. At the party, Steph felt a bit left out as Rachel and Vanessa were busy catching up. Feeling hungry and having a bit of a sweet tooth, Steph went to the dining area and took a brownie. She had only consumed a small glass of red wine earlier and felt fine until she started driving home. She described feeling woozy and tired, which she initially thought was just the result of an awkward social interaction. However, when she rolled through a stop sign, an officer noticed her inability to communicate clearly. Steph, who was a teacher by profession, ended up spending the night in jail until Rachel could bail her out. The expenses were high. Between the legal fees, the classes, the license reissue, and the car towing, the total came to exactly $1,209.99. Judge Williams looked at the evidence, noting that for a teacher, such a record could have devastating consequences beyond just the financial cost. Vanessa Tyson, the defendant, presented a different perspective. She explained that she hosted parties every Friday night and that it was a well-known tradition among her circle that the brownies were laced with cannabis. She claimed there was always a sign next to the pan. Vanessa showed the court a photograph of a small sign that read "Weed brownies laced with THC. She argued that Steph should have known, or that their mutual friend Rachel should have informed her. Vanessa insisted that she never wanted to put anyone in danger and would have offered a place to stay or a ride home if she had known Steph was impaired. However, Judge Williams found a flaw in this logic. She pointed out that it was not reasonable to expect a first-time guest to know the secret customs of a household. A host has a responsibility to ensure their guests are clearly informed about what they are consuming. The judge emphasized that driving under the influence was a grave matter that costs lives every day. Because Steph had consumed the cannabis involuntarily due to a lack of clear warning, Judge Williams ruled in favor of the plaintiff. She ordered Vanessa to pay the full amount of $1,209.99, reminding everyone that transparency is essential when it comes to the safety of others. The second case involved a wedding that did not go as planned. Lucy Olson, a new bride, was suing Tina Graham for $1,000, claiming the singer she hired had lip-synced during her wedding reception. Tina, in turn, was countersuing for $1,000 for lost wages due to a damaging social media post Lucy had made. Lucy expressed her deep disappointment, stating that she had paid for a live performance to fulfill her vision of her special day. She presented the contract, which clearly stated the singer and her band would perform. Tina Graham defended her actions by explaining that Lucy had demanded an extra rehearsal on the very day of the wedding. This unexpected strain caused Tina to lose her voice. To ensure there was still music and a performance of some kind, Tina and her band used a pre-recorded track. Tina argued that she was still performing by being there and dancing, but Judge Williams disagreed. The judge explained that when someone hires a live vocal band, it is not reasonable to provide a recording instead. It was a failure to fulfill the core of the agreement. However, the situation was complicated by Lucy's actions after the wedding. The day after she was married, Lucy had posted a scathing review online, calling Tina a fraud and a scam. This post caused Tina to lose a different client and $1,000 in potential income. Judge Williams looked at both women and saw a lack of communication. While Tina had failed to provide the live service promised, Lucy had reacted with a public attack that caused documented financial harm. In a balanced decision, the judge granted $1,000 to Lucy for the breach of contract, but also granted $1,000 to Tina for the countersuit. In the end, the amounts canceled each other out. As the court session ended, Judge Williams hoped that both parties had learned a lesson about expectations, communication, and the weight of their words. Justice, after all, was not just about winning or losing, but about finding a fair path forward for everyone involved. The courtroom returned to its quiet state, leaving behind a sense of balance and the enduring hope that integrity would always prevail.